Let's talk about living in the most cowboy town in all of South Florida, and that's Davie, Florida. So we're gonna talk about everything that you need to know about living in Davie, what life's like, what are the people like, are there things to do, is it fun, what's the vibe like? We're gonna go over all of that. But before we do that, all I ask is that you hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps us out, and it's gonna help you learn more about not only South Florida, but Florida in general. So let's jump right into it. So first off, let's talk about where in the world Davie is to begin with. So Davie's in South Florida. It's in Broward County, and let's jump right into the map and kind of show you where it is in relative to number one, the beach, major cities, transportation, like what's going on in Davie? Let's check it out. So Davie is in Broward County, like I said. It's just west of Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood, and it's just south of 595 and Plantation. So it's this strip just under 595, out to just a little bit past the Turnpike, out across to 75. So that's all of Davie. And Davie's pretty much in a very, very clutch location. So let's talk about a couple of reasons why. Number one, you're not too far from the beach. Number two, you have excellent transportation, being near pretty much every major highway in South Florida. And number three, you're not too far from any of the major cities or the airport either. So let's kind of take a look. So for starters, Fort Lauderdale is here, and Hollywood's here like we talked about. It's tough. I would say Dania Beach is probably the closest beach, and like the Dania Beach Pier. So you're probably about 25 minutes from like downtown, like the center of Davie to to Dania Beach, about 25 minutes. Say to Fort Lauderdale Beach, like Las Olas Beach, where it says right here off of 17th Street and Federal, like as the wraparound, or pretty much Las Olas, I guess, in the wraparound on Federal. Still looking at about 30 minutes. Hollywood Beach, probably about 35 minutes, but getting off on Hollywood Beach Boulevard off of 95 is a nightmare. So that's just something to keep in mind. In terms of how close you are to the airport's only about 15-20 minutes away. Obviously, it's a little further if you live out near IKEA and the indoor skydiving out here. But for the most part, it's not too far at all. In terms of transportation, let's talk about that. So for starters, you have 595, which runs east and west. Being right there next to it is clutch. Then going north and south, we have a couple different options. So for starters, we have 75 all the way out west, which turns into the Sawgrass. That's really, really nice. On top of that, when you get out east, you have both the Turnpike and 95. So two great options. Both of them are going to be backed up no matter what, so just be ready for it. But it does give you some great options as well. In terms of proximity to other major cities, like I said, Fort Lauderdale is about 15 to just downtown Fort Lauderdale from like the middle of Davie, you're about 20 minutes. Hollywood, about the same thing. And we'll zoom out here a little bit. All the way to downtown Miami, it's only 35 minutes, but that depends on traffic. So more than likely, you're looking at about 45 minutes. And as we head north, if you want to get to Boca, probably about 45 minutes too. And then it'll zoom out a little bit to downtown West Palm. You're looking at about an hour. Most likely an hour and 15 minutes because you're going to hit traffic. You're going to have to take the Turnpike or 95 or some combination of the two. So that's kind of giving you an idea of where it's at. In terms of major things in Davie to kind of take a look at on the map before we dive into them, you do have Nova Southeastern University, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. You do have some great nurseries, so like the Flamingo Road Nursery, as well as a ton of parks, as you can see. I would say probably about, what'd you call that, about a little bit less than a quarter of Davie is parks. So you have Treetops Parks, Robin Preserve, Flamingo Gardens, which is awesome to go check out. Vista View Park, which has a huge hill. If you want to go run the hill, that's a killer workout right there. That's the monster. And you do have the Bergeron Rodeo Grounds, which are out here, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit as well. I mean, that's what Davie is known for, and I'll jump into that. I don't want to, get too ahead of myself. But like everything else, you have great hospital systems over here because Nova is a great medical school, shopping, dining, everything you can want. So let's jump out of the map and we'll dive into everything that Davie does have to offer. All right, so now that we know where Davie is and like all the stuff around it, what's the big draw to living in Davie? And that's the fact that Davie's really been known for its ranching, the rodeos, and the equestrianism that's pretty much solidified the culture there in Davie. So they're really known for the Bergeron Rodeo Grounds, which is a really fun thing to go to, even if you don't like any of that stuff like myself and you just want to go do something different. Like, it is a ton of fun. No matter what you're into, you will have fun. The food's awesome, so that's definitely something you have to check out. But on the flip side of that, like equestrianism and just that whole cowboy-esque type lifestyle is very much so present in Davie. So you will see people with a ton of lifted trucks wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. I mean, I don't own any of that, but I will still go to Davie because there's plenty of other stuff too, but that's just how Davie has been recognized and that's what it's known for. So if you do like stuff like that, this is by far the city for you. So kind of tying into that, if you like being outside and you love outdoor activities, there's plenty of different parks, walking trails, equestrian trails, all those different things to go and explore here in Davie. One of the really cool things to go check out is Flamingo Gardens, which is awesome. And there's also a ton of nurseries as well. So just anything to do with the outdoors, Davie is a great city for it. Now on the flip side of it, like I said, there is everything else that you'd want to do. So shopping, dining, all that. So one of the great places to go shopping is the Tower Shops. They do have a halal, guys, which is pretty cool. I tried it probably about a couple months ago. Now one of my top restaurants, fast food places you have to go check out. I mean, it's good. I mean, and it's cheap. You get a ton of food. So definitely something to go check out. On top of that, there are plenty of malls as well. So Broward Mall, which is technically in Plantation, we'll call it. It's right there across 595 for Davie. On top of that, you do have the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs, the Sawgrass Mills Mall and Sunrise. You have the Galleria Mall in Fort Lauderdale, the Aventura Mall in Aventura, as well as Boca Town Center. All those are within a 30-minute drive. So if you love shopping, this is an excellent location for you, and you can get there extremely quickly because of all the highways that are around. On top of that, if you like going to the casino, there are plenty of great casinos. You're literally right next to the Guitar Hotel, and which is the Hard Rock Hotel Casino in Hollywood. They call it Fort Lauderdale. They also call it Miami. It's in Hollywood. It's right there next to the Turnpike. Don't get it confused. You have that. You also have Gulfstream Park, which isn't too far. I know it's not Davie, but it's also not too far. One of the cool things about the Hard Rock in Hollywood is during the week, they do have $5 blackjack. So if you want to learn and kind of get your feet wet and not be embarrassed or have to put $100 a hand, that's definitely something to go check out. On top of that, you do have the beaches and everything that you do get to enjoy with the water. You can also head out west and go to the Sawgrass and either do an airboat ride or just go on a walk. I know people are thinking you're going on a walk in Everglades. No, there are mounds that are built up and you can go walk out there. You can watch the sunset, which is super romantic and something to do. You can plan a picnic. So if you need a date idea, I got you. That's a perfect one. But I mean, there's everything you could want to do in a normal city that also has the rodeo and the cowboy-esque feel. Oh, I almost forgot. Speaking of rodeos, if you're looking for something to do and you love nightlife, the nightlife in Davie is decent. It's more suburban. There's not a whole lot of nightlife. I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, there are some one-off bars and things like that. But if you love line dancing and you love that country atmosphere, you have to go check out Roundup. It's right off of 595. It's awesome. You have to at least go experience it once in your lifetime. Completely different experience than you're going to get anywhere else in South Florida. It's not what you're typically expecting, and it is a lot of fun. And if you don't know how to line dance, if you get there early, they do teach you ahead of time so you don't make a fool of yourself. One of the really cool things about living in Davie is there are a lot of college campuses right nearby as well. So if you're in college or you have your children in college and you want to be around them, this is a great opportunity. So they do have Nova Southeastern University right there in Davie, which is awesome. And there's a lot of affordable housing options for them as well, where they do rent by bedroom. On top of that, FAU is not too far away, along with FIU and the University of Miami. So there's a lot of different options for higher education as well, on top of all the great elementary, middle, and high schools as well. So, I mean, I look at it from a high school football perspective, just because I played football and that's my thing. But in terms of the schools, university schools right there, right at Nova, they used to be really good. They're up and coming now again. Like they're rebuilding. Right across 595 in Plantation, you have American Heritage Plantation, which is a complete powerhouse. Like they are a juggernaut. But there's a lot of great schools in that area as well, besides for the colleges. And last but not least, let's talk about the real estate here in Davie. What's it like? Is it affordable? Is it way too expensive? Am I going to like it? I mean, how does that all match up? So in terms of single family homes, the average sales price today, in the last day of May 2023, it's $828,000. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, Joe, whoa. That's a little bit expensive. Hold on, I got you. On the flip side of that, if you're looking at a townhome, condo, or villa, the average sales price is $329,000. So you do have a nice mix of both. You can pretty much get whatever you want and anything that you want. So you can get a nice 1-1 condo just for yourself. You can go rent an apartment. Rents are very similar, on par with that of like Fort Lauderdale, Aventura area. So your average 2-bedroom is going to run you about $2,700, $2,800 a month at an apartment complex. Your 1-bedroom is going to be about $2,200 to $2,400 a month. But if you want to get a single family house with a pool, all that, like the typical Florida home, you're going to be looking at anywhere between, you could find some in this $500,000 and $600,000, don't get me wrong. But there are some of those homes that are a little bit larger. They do have more land, and that's what raises that average sales price up to $828,000. But there is everything in between. Don't get it twisted. And there are those more luxurious homes as well, with almost every amenity under the sun that you could want, a little bit larger. You can have a 4-car garage. So there's a nice mix of homes as well. So there's not one size fits all. And there's not a whole lot of cookie cutter homes either. A lot of them are different in style, which is really nice, and there's a good mix. So if you or anyone that you know are looking to move to Davie, or if you just have questions about Davie and South Florida in general, we would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can shoot us a text, phone call, email, DM, whatever's easiest for you, we got you.